was looking at some numbers with quarterbacks and the number of starts, consecutive starts. Have you guys followed this at all? You look at Brett Favre and you forget about this. How many consecutive starts did Brett Favre have in his career? Was it
I got
almost three? It was almost 300 consecutive starts.
I got 297.
Right? Okay, so 297 for Brett Favre. Eli Manning is second at 210. Phillip Rivers is third at 208, tying him with Peyton Manning. Phillip Rivers has started for the Chargers since week 1 of 2006. That was against Oakland. Hasn't missed a start since then. If he starts the team's first 3 games this year, he'll pass both Manning brothers and have the second longest streak of consecutive starts by a quarterback all time. But that stat's flawed a little bit because Eli is still going to be adding to his total. But he's got a long way to go to get to Brett Favre. Yes, Paul.
And it's interesting. When Phil Rivers was coming out of NC State, the knock on him was he had injured knees. And they had some injury things at NC State that that was the only question mark about him.
Well, also his delivery.
Yeah.
They wondered about that. He'd have to start every game through Game 10 of the 2024 season to break Brett Favre's record, and he would be just shy of his 43rd birthday at this point. Phillip Rivers, Chargers quarterback, joining us. Did you hear those numbers, Phillip?
I caught the tail end of them. I can. Although that was always one I really Brett Favre, that record of consecutive starts was always one of my favorites, and I'm not going to get there, Dan. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but you would be playing till your 43rd birthday, but that's 297. Even if we're protecting the quarterbacks, Phillip, I mean that's almost impossible to have that many consecutive starts at that position.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's remarkable, Brett doing it, and back in the day when they didn't quite protect us like they do now. But no, I've been very blessed and very thankful. I've been able to be out there for over 200 in a row. So yeah, I'm not getting the 297. So that one's safe, at least from my standpoint.
What's the closest you came to not starting a game?
Well, it's funny because they do count, but they don't count, the postseason. So it wouldn't necessarily break the regular season streak, but that playoff game with the ACL against the Patriots was probably the closest. A regular season game, I just don't ever think there was ever really any question in my mind. I hadn't had one in doubt in all these years, so it's been good.
You know who has the most sacks of you career-wise?
I do not.
We'll take a guess.
Well, my guess would be Von Miller.
Von Miller's correct. He's got 16 sacks against you. And Tom Bahali is second, and Justin Houston is third. Do you ever carry on a conversation with Von? I mean, if he's in the backfield that much, I'm guessing that, hey, how are you, Von? Good. Hey, Phillip, good to see you. See you in a couple plays.
He doesn't say a whole lot on the field, and I've learned not to do any extra to get him any more riled up. He's tough enough to deal with as he is. I don't need to make it any harder on our tackles, but I've gotten to know Vaughn a little bit over the years, just a couple Pro Bowls and things. But it makes sense though, right? Not only is he an unbelievable player, all those guys you mentioned, and we see them twice a year for the last 10, so makes sense.
But you know where he is when you go to the line of scrimmage. How many defensive players can you say, I want to know where he is because that guy's a difference maker?
Oh, yeah, there's a few. I mean, you have to me, you have those guys every week who those guys are that you got to make sure. He is definitely one of them in a different category, like the Justin Houston's, the Tom Ali's in his prime, and a Khalil Mack when he's in Oakland, those guys that hey, these guys can ruin the game. They can completely ruin the game, as we saw Von do in a Super Bowl a few years ago. They can ruin the game, and one sack fumble and the thing gets turned around, and or not. You got somebody running open, but it doesn't matter if you're not blocking him. So all those things, not only am I aware of, all of our guys are.
What did last year teach you that will help you this year with this team?
Well, I think it was something that I've known, but that we haven't done as this current group in a long time, and it's win some close games. You know, we had our stretch there where we just found a way, and certainly I had my hand in plenty of them where we found a way to lose close games there for a stretch of years. And last year we were on the other side of those. We found a way to win those games. And so to experience that together as a group and then go on the road and win a playoff game, we had some good experiences last year that we can grow from, and we got a taste of the postseason again. And you know, our focus is in the division. We hadn't won a division championship since 2009. So you know, we obviously know what Kansas City is, and I think Denver and Oakland are going to be tough too. A little AFC West bias. I think we have the best division in football, so it's a heck of a division. But that's where it starts for us is trying to win the West and be at home. We found out we were so good on the road last year, but at some point you run out of gas, and we ended up doing that in New England.
Yeah, how frustrating is that though? When you're that close, or at least you understand it, and at your age, you know, you have to look at, okay, how many more times am I going to get? How many more chances am I going to get? Does that, go? You try to block that out?
No. I think last year it was a little more of a disappointing the finish, and I was even a little more emotional post game after that Patriots game because of just what you said. You're like, gosh, we're right here on the doorstep again, and you know, not only are you not guaranteed to be back here, it's a whole nother year. It's a whole nother year to get you there, and like you said, not many left. So I'll never forget being in the AFC Championship game. It was the 2007 season, but it was that 2008 Championship game, and we were all banged up and hurt, and LT and Gates and myself and Hardwick and Jamal Williams. I mean, I could go on and on with all the injuries we had, and those aren't excuses, but we got beat in that playoff game. And I remember Norv saying, hey, we're going to be in a bunch of these games. We're going to be in a bunch of championship games. And we hadn't been in one since. And we probably should have been in a bunch of championship games, but we hadn't been in one since. And so they are fleeting. And so I don't think you block it out. I think you embrace the fact that, hey, come on now. I mean, here we are. We're in a little window where we're going to be capable and have the ability to go get it done. It's just a matter of if we do.
What role do your kids play after a tough loss? I don't think they've made losing. I don't think they've made me, hate losing anymore or make losing any better. But I think it's just perspective. I think it's the one thing when you come home after a loss on the road, especially, and you pull in that driveway and there's bicycles and sidewalk chalk and scooters and footballs and basketballs thrown all over the place. You go, you know what? Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. And they're a little tougher critics than they used to be when they were little now. And they're like, gosh, yeah, you should have hit that. Oh, we missed that one. And, the interception killed us. So there's a little more real football talk now. But it's awesome. It's awesome having the older ones now that are able to experience this and how they pull for the Chargers and get excited. It's awesome to be able to do it with them alongside Tiffany and the kids both. He's Philip Rivers, Chargers quarterback, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. And I don't know if this is a motivating factor in any way for you, for Breeze, for Brady, and Roethlisberger. Your children get to a certain age where they can appreciate what you're doing, and normally in that position or that sport, you're not having kids, or if you have kids, they're not going to be around to see you play when, they could be proud of dad. So you want to stay a little bit longer because now the kids are into this as well. Does that factor in at all?
I think a little bit, but not. But at the same time, I'm excited to get to coach them. So it's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm also going, man, shoot, they're getting a little older. We gotta get ready to go and go play high school football here before long. So there's a little bit of both, but I do enjoy the greatest thing that's come from it is besides touchdowns and fun weekends and winning games and watching the highlights on a Sunday night and here comes our game, and them being excited and enjoying those times. It's really more the teaching moments that we've had that I'm actually living them. So with the boys playing, flag football and things that happen, and they actually see them happen, I'm dealing with them, and then they're kind of getting to start to experience it. And then even just teaching moments after a loss. I remember last year, terrible loss at home against Denver where we kind of gave it away at the end. and we got an hour and a half, 45-minute drive home from L.A. And after the game, and I mean, the first 10 minutes, nobody said a word. And I go, gosh, here's a good. So finally, I said, hey, everything's all right. Let's still enjoy the car ride home. We're gonna be okay. Hey, we blew the game. We blew it. But we got to move on. We don't pout around about it. So there's certain things that have been like, they're real experiences that they're actually old enough now to see. Well, we're gonna see how Dad handles it. He's not only gonna tell us how to handle it, we're actually gonna get to watch him. So that's been big for me because it's also helped me learn how to deal with some of this adversity and different things that happen, and know that, hey, golly, they're old enough to see it. They're not only just going to tell them about it, they're going to see the example that you set.
Yeah, but I can't imagine you as a football coach. Like, your demeanor, if you're not able to, hold the football, control a game, and then you're on the sideline, who would be, what NFL coach or any pro coach would be like you on the sidelines with your son's football?
Golly, that's hard. That'd be hard for me to go through and think about. I don't know. I think I'm going to be most like my dad was. And my dad coached with a lot of passion and intensity, but at the same time, he kept it in check. So I'm hoping I'm going to be right.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine as competitive as you are. I can't imagine that.
The keeping in check part will be the challenge, but it's fun. My experience with my dad playing high school football was so awesome that I want to have that. Hopefully, I can, recreate that same experience for my sons too. So I can already tell. I coach them a little bit, and I know it's flag football. I know they're young, but they enjoy me coaching them, and we have the relationship is good in the sense of that. It's just good. So I am looking forward to that.
How competitive are you with your place among the modern day quarterbacks? So with Brady, Breeze, and Roethlisberger, and then you got the younger guys there. Do you care about ratings? Your ranking?
I really don't. I mean, that's going to sound crazy, but I don't. I mean, yeah, do you compete against them? Yeah, because they're leading the Saints, and because they're leading the Patriots and the Steelers, and I could go on so on. The Chiefs, but I think it's more, I don't know the word, when you can remove yourself a little bit and go, golly, look at that, and see that you're up there with, and you look at a list, and it's Manning and Favre and Marino and Elway and Breeze and Brady and Roethlisberger and Manning and then Rivers. I mean, it's more like, gosh, that's pretty cool, but I don't think that I'm competing like, golly, where are they going to rank us this year and where do we stack up and all that. I really don't. I'm thankful to be in the mix and really more concerned with finding a way to lead this franchise to win a championship.
But do you think you're better than Brady?
Do I think I'm better than Brady? No, I don't think I can say that. I think no, I don't think I can say that.
But because it's weird how we try to assess greatness at that quarterbacking position, though, Philip. Because if you look at resume, then we always look at playoff wins. We look at Super Bowls, and then Brady has to be the greatest of all time. But then I keep hearing Aaron Rodgers, greatest quarterback of all time, and I'm going, well, wait, he's only got one Super Bowl. How do you think quarterbacks should be judged?
Yeah, well, it's a crazy deal because the quarterback and the head coach are the only ones that are tied to the record. And let me go back on the Brady question because a Brady-led team versus a Rivers-led team, we're over. So that does tell you a little bit head-to-head.
Scoreboard.
So we're over. So I think I can go back and answer that question. No. So. But to your point about the Super Bowl, I remember thinking when the Patriots beat the Seahawks, when they had the interception against the Seahawks down there on 4th and 1, and that gave them their 5th championship, right? Brady's 5th, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody said, well, he's now the greatest of all time. And I thought to myself, I already thought he was one of, right? I mean, how do you ever decide that? It's like the old Michael Jordan, right? We can talk about that forever, too. But I always thought he was already one of the greatest of all time. But because they intercepted the pass, he's now the greatest of all time. What if the Seahawks would have ran it in and the Seahawks would have won? Brady just played the exact same game. He didn't do anything different, but it is funny how that works. So I don't look at that. That's why I always think Marino's right there in the mix too. All these guys, I mean, you can't just go off that. I don't think that you can, not in this sport especially.
But tell me what you see with Aaron Rodgers. Like what is it that people, it feels like that's the consensus. He's as good a quarterback as who's ever played the game.
Well, one thing that stands out to me is you look at his touchdowns to interceptions. It's unbelievably far above, better than anybody that's ever done from ratio standpoint.
Yeah.
And I mean, just his sheer ability to throw the football and be accurate and make some unbelievable plays that physically, and I know I'm sure he's unbelievable mentally. I don't know that part, but you have to think he is. But physically, I mean, he can do some things that I watch sometimes. We watch in the quarterback room, and I go, well, I'm not making that throw. I'm not even throwing that ball. Mahomes does the same thing. I go, yeah, that's good. I'd have to throw that way earlier, and I can't quite get it out that far. So there's certain things physically that you just shoot. You go, yeah, that's awesome. But
do you
at the same time, though, then Peyton Manning, though, to me, he couldn't throw it as far as these guys. He couldn't. He was always was a great passer, but his anticipation, his ability to get in and out and get his team the best player and all those things. So there's different ways to get it done for sure.
Do you have a no-look pass in the playbook?
Yeah, I think I've flicked a few around no look, but some of those were pretty unbelievable last year. But even then, it's unbelievable years he had last year. It is interesting now to see. I see it different than I did 15 years ago, from the sense of when you see guys get hot and you can see we can make a big deal about everything, So some of those no looks were awesome, but they probably got a little more pub than maybe.
Hey, 13 minutes, no Melvin Gordon questions. When's the last time that happened?
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I did. I figured you had a stand pat answer. Hey, when's Melvin getting in, Philip?
Well, I hope soon. I guess I didn't answer it exactly right about 2 weeks ago in training camp and made a bunch of news, but I hope really soon. We're a better football team with Melvin. He scored 38 touchdowns the last couple of years, 3 years, and what he can do in the running pass game for us has been seen and known. So everybody in this building feels that way about him. So we hope to get him back soon. I hope he comes in when he does. I'm hoping that he does, and when he does, that he's fresh and ready to go, as I know he's been working and getting ready. But until then, we got to roll. We got to go, and with who's here, and Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson. There's some other young guys in the mix. They've done a nice job in Melvin's absence. So thankfully we do have those guys in the building if we have to go without him, but I'm certainly hoping we don't, and that Melvin can just add to that group when he gets here, and then we'll have even a better group when he gets back here.
It's great to talk to you. I look forward to it every single season before it starts. I always appreciate your honesty and the stories you tell, Philip. So thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dan. Enjoyed it.
That's Philip Rivers, Chargers quarterback. That's a good interview. I mean, he did the lifting there, but I just want you to, give me opinions. Give me some honesty there.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.